Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is another day. We made it to another Friday. Thank God for that. Oh, man. Thank God for Friday. Anyway, we are enjoying new mercy, new grace. So let us celebrate God. Let us celebrate the life He's given us by doing those two things He asked us to do, which is to love Him with all of our heart, mind, and soul, to honor Him, to do what He says, to, worship Him, to submit to Him. And we have to love our neighbor, every single person we encounter. We have to love everyone and treat everyone the way we want to be treated. Now, I think today's video is really going to bless someone because it blessed me on today. I want you to go ahead and share because I think it's going to bless somebody. It's going to help somebody. So this morning I was thinking about some things. I got a lot of things on my plate, and I have an assessment coming up pretty soon. And I started, praying about it, and I was asking God about it and asking for His assistance and help. And, when I started, sorry about that, y'all. So when I started telling the Lord what I desired, something strange happened. And it probably happened before. I just never noticed it. But I heard this other voice, if you will, or these other thoughts started intruding my mind. Victoria, you don't deserve to ask God for that. That's what I kept hearing. Victoria, you don't deserve to ask God for that. You shouldn't ask God for that. You don't live perfectly, so you shouldn't ask God for that. And strangely enough, even though I know better, we know better heart-wise, but we're still human. Even though I knew better than that, something in me got a little disturbed and even contemplated whether I should be asking God what I was asking Him for because I have fault in my life. Because, John was talking about me when he said, no man can say they don't have sin. Nobody can say they don't have fault. And so I started thinking about that thing, and it made me a little hesitant in my prayer. I paused. And as I was considering my unworthiness and how my unworthiness should prevent me from asking God for what I wanted Him to do, I remembered the scripture says, come boldly. Come boldly before the throne of grace. I remember where He says, ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the doors will be open. To bring our petitions to God. And, as I was kind of contemplating this thing and having a little miniature battle in the middle of my prayer, the Lord said, I never put conditions on the asker. Now, of course, you get the favor of God when you are His child. But, you can't let your shortcomings be a determinant in whether you go to God for something you need. And I found myself, like I said, backing up because I was already praying. But I was kind of backing up from the throne of grace because I was like, wait a minute, I might not be good enough to ask God for this. I may not be good enough to ask God to help me with this. I may not be good enough to ask Him to make a way to provide here. But don't be afraid to ask God for what you want. Now you don't say things like that because certain people take messages like this and put them on steroids and just go for too much. But we can ask God for what we need. We can ask God to work on our behalf. We shouldn't be afraid to go to Him because He is our Father. And even now I can remember when I was growing up in my parents' home, and my brother and I were kind of the bad kids of the four. And I was kind of rough. But I remember I would get in trouble, and my dad would have to use the rod of correction on me because I was just showing out. But even though I was acting up and doing crazy and he was correcting me and I was giving him the blues, that never stopped me from going to my father and say, Daddy, I need this. Even though I was cutting up, acting up, it never prevented me from going to my dad and to Dennis Seeger and say, Daddy, I need this. Now, if that's the case, if that is the case, now are we trying to live right? If you're trying to do what is right, why should you be prevented from going to God? Why should you be prevented? If you're trying to do what's right. Like I said, I was big and bad and bold, and I was bad, and I would go right to Daddy after I did something. Daddy, I need this. And because I needed it, he gave it to me. And God is a much better father. He says, you know, if man being evil know how to give good gifts to their children, how much more than your father in heaven know how to give good gifts? So, don't be afraid to ask God for what you want. And don't be afraid to ask God for what you need. And just in case you have a moment like I did where the enemy come up against you in the middle of your prayer, he ain't got no kind of respect. None at all. And he starts accusing you or starts trying to show you why you shouldn't ask God. And really, in him doing that, he's trying to make God a liar. He's trying to make you not trust that God is who he say he is. So when he come to you saying you shouldn't be asking God for that, or you ain't worthy enough to ask God for that, or you don't live holy enough to ask God for that, you tell him to get behind you and you ask God for what you need. You ask God for what you want, and then you end your prayer with this: Lord, let your will be done. But don't be afraid to go to God if you're struggling. Now, I've been there. I mean, I'm talking about hanging on to my salvation by a fiber of the thread. And so many times I would need things or want things, and because I was struggling, because I was losing some battles, I felt like I couldn't go to God and ask him what I needed. No. Don't be afraid to ask God for what you need. He's a good father. You're his child. He wants you to come to him. Don't accept the lies that Satan going to try to supplant in your head, accusing you and low-key accusing God to you about the fact that he won't hear you because you're not 100% of the time. He almost got me this morning. I stopped in the middle of my prayer. I was like, you know what? But the Lord said, ask. The scripture started coming to me. Ask, 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 ask. Ain't nothing wrong with asking God. You better ask him. The Lord said he reign on the just and the unjust. You better ask. Anyway, I love you guys. And I pray that this blessed you. Like I said, it helped me this morning because I was in a little battle in the middle of my prayer. Like I say, so disrespectful. So, y'all be blessed this Friday. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I thank God for those of you who have been helping with the Caring for the Least of Us ministry, those of you who've been donating, those of you who've been sending packages to the church. Just thank God for you. Thank God for you. You don't even know how much of a blessing you are to other people. So thank God. If you want to give, the information should still be on my page. I posted it recently. Somebody asked me, well, why you just don't say your Cash App and PayPal and stuff on it? Y'all, we got enough people making the ministry about money. If you want to give, go find the information. How about that? Anyway, I love you guys, and y'all be blessed in the Lord. And remember, don't be afraid to ask God, and don't let the enemy convince you that you are not worthy to go before him and ask. Okay? Because that ain't how God works. All right? I love you guys. Y'all have a great day, and do me a favor, share the video. God bless you.